Okay, I'm going to stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock. Have a roll call, please.
Trustee Whitby?
Here.
Trustee Wilcox?
Here.
Trustee Galassi? President Bang?
Here.
Trustee G? Here. Trustee Leesville?
Here.
Trustee Wolford?
Here.
And Tom Green?
Yep.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes? These are the minutes of the business meeting in July 26th. Motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we're going to go over the bills. The current bills for this period, for this 2-week period, are as follows. Sewer testing, $114.59. Sewer testing, $140.66. Water testing, $97.75. Internet, $474.97. Operating supplies, $1547.73. That's Aquafix for the water. And $819.62, same thing. Stranded Associates, $526.84. Nicor, $56.90, $177.89, $49.11. And Ace Hardware, $7.99. And other Ace Hardware, $23.48. And Sickich, our accounting firm, $25.53. Total is $65.90 and 83 cents. The general fund is $35.62.80, and the water and sewer fund will be $30.28.03. Any questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve this warrant?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Whitby?
Aye.
Trustee Wilcox?
Aye.
Trustee Galassi? President Bang?
Aye.
Trustee G?
Aye.
Trustee Leesville?
Aye.
Trustee Wolford?
Aye.
Okay, most pass. Okay, now to the second part. We tabled the bills for the paving project until this meeting, until I talked to Justin, our accounting engineer, and found out why it was over. They had to use an extra 350 tons of asphalt because Grove Street and First Street were in such bad shape. That's what they had to do to make it so it's flat and even, it's gonna last a while. So we have to pay that bill. So what I need is a motion to approve $119,634.55 to be split, $70,000 out of MFT and $49,634.55 out of the general fund. And I'll explain that one more time. We had to transfer $75,000 of MFT money into the general fund to satisfy the IDOT audit. So we're actually taking that money out of what was MFT, and we're still putting $25,000 back into the general fund. So that's what we were gonna use it for in the first place, so that's what we're gonna use it for now.
Just a question, like, if they knew, why wouldn't they say anything before and just go ahead and laying it all down, like, here's your bill?
I don't know, I mean, we barely get notified. This is just, these guys got a schedule, they got a contract with the county, and they come in and do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, but when you charge somebody an extra $90-something thousand,
Well, it was in
without-
excess of, the original quote was $91,000.
Yeah.
It came to 119, so that's an extra $27,000.
27, yeah.
That's a lot of money, that's
Yeah.
why I talked to
I just figured they
them.
would have like, hey, just so you guys know, we gotta lay an
Yeah.
extra.
Next year, I want them to do a little better job on quoting.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing you have to understand also, we have to use state-approved contractors.
Right.
And they have to use state-approved suppliers. So your hands are kind of tied as to who you can go to, and we still got a cut on the price because this was cut out of a big project.
Yeah.
It was just our share of it. So we still got a discount on the materials in the
Right,
contract.
it's just the fact that they didn't say anything, like, hey,
Yeah.
here's an extra $27,000 tagged on your bill.
Right, normally you would see a change order. Usually on contracts like that, they'll submit a
Yeah.
change
Right.
order, it'll say what they're gonna do, it'll say why. And Strand didn't get anything or any?
No, nothing, no.
That's why I brought it up, just because that's usually what they do.
Normally I agree, if you got like a construction project, and you're
Right,
putting up a building, Yeah, any changes would come out in a change order, but this was spur of the moment. They were paving the roads. They couldn't come back and
Yeah.
do it at another time, so I guess that's the way it was. But we need to,
So we just have to protect us going forward next time. we
yeah,
have a
next
project,
time, I
we'll get a
told them, I said
competing bid,
especially if we're
And
gonna
that
do.
way we'll get a better number.
If we're gonna do Show Street, okay, I mean, that's starting from scratch, okay? That's not just an overpay. So we're gonna have to get a real good, I need to get a real good quote, and we have to hold them to it the next
Right,
time.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
okay? It was a shock to me when I saw it. I didn't expect it.
Right,
So,
yeah.
that's what we got.
Well, and sometimes you have your engineer, and I know there's cost associated with this, but you have your engineer have someone on site during the process, like in some of the communities we represent, they have someone on site. And if something comes up, they're immediately going to the engineer and telling them what and why and how, and then they can communicate back with the village. So we might talk to
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan about that.
yeah.
Yeah, because
okay.
you would think that they would know ahead of time if they're gonna need another inch or
Well, you
two.
know, the contractor did it on length and what a normal road would be to look at to pave. He never came out and really looked at it.
Okay.
And, Justin measured everything out and told him what the square footage was, and we wanted a 2-inch overlay on it.
Yeah.
So that's what they quoted. And when they got here,
That
I
was
mean,
their fault, then they
first
should have
thing was
came out and
almost a
looked.
dirt road, so,
Exactly.
you know.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking, even if we have to go with them, getting a competing bid would at least get us able to question them, say, hey, this other one came in and said we need X amount of material. Because 350 extra tons is a lot.
Yeah,
And that might have helped us see that issue, might help them see it ahead of time too.
well, I know they have to go with the lowest bidder. And he was the lowest bidder. So-
Well, only because he was,
Yeah. Cut us out
he was,
25 grand.
yeah, he was cutting us 350
Well, I,
tons
I,
less.
yeah.
So
I-
wasn't
So
that
of
the
course
kind
it's
of
gonna be the lower
wasn't that the
bidder.
difference
Yeah,
in the
no.
quotes too, about 25 grand? Did you
Yeah,
get two
I was,
quotes?
you know,
Yeah.
I didn't, at
Yeah.
first was gonna go, I'm not gonna pay this, and then I'm thinking, I better not say that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that's,
Yeah.
We
you know,
don't
the
have this
reason why.
happen again,
No.
because
so anyway, so we need to approve these. So can I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Wait, is this to actually pay it?
Yeah, we
Yes.
gotta pay.
Roll call.
Yeah,
We need
yeah.
a roll call.
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't get to that part.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we're gonna have a roll call, please?
Aye.
Trustee Wakely,
Aye.
trustee Wilcox,
Aye.
trustee Galassi, president Bing,
Aye.
trustee Agee,
Aye.
trustee Lacewell,
Aye.
trustee Walter,
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. All right, can you sign that? And that, pass it around, okay? All right, next on the, we got something I want to talk about real fast. There was a residence in town, they got a mailing, an envelope stuffed with political propaganda, shall we say. And it had the return address of the village hall on it. And I want everybody to know that we don't support, we don't recommend, we don't do any politicizing in this building. And if you're gonna get anything from the village, it's gonna be on village letterhead, it's gonna have my signature on it, and the address will be stamped on it, it won't be handwritten. And it isn't gonna contain anything like that, and we've never done that, and we are not going to. So, please stop doing it. Eventually, you're gonna get caught, so just don't do it. Next, the village parking lot. We talked about this
Shouldn't you
before.
do public comments?
Sorry, I have,
Public comments?
This is the, I gave you guys, I saw this on the internet, we got a website for this, the Illinois 173 project. This is basically telling you how much it's gonna cost, where it's gonna be, and when they have this scheduled for. So, the first line item for Illinois Route 173, it's a quarter mile east of Lyford Road to 1/10 of a mile west of Winnebago, and that's $750,000. And then we've got 0.4 miles east of Illinois 176 to the McHenry County line, which is the part that runs through our town, for $12 million, and they got that scheduled for somewhere between 24 and 28, so it's gonna be a while yet. And then they got a portion by Centerville Road and the McHenry County line. These are all like like turns. They go, you know, for the curbs and all that good stuff. So you guys want to look at that, that's great, okay? The next would be the parking lot. We talked about repaving it, not.
We never did public comments at all.
Just public comment, I'm sorry. Any public comment?
You were going to mention something about the Lions chicken.
Oh, the chicken dinner is Saturday between 12 and 6, $15 a piece for chicken dinner, so, okay? Help show up and support them, okay? All right, so we weren't talking about tearing the whole thing up, I was just doing an overlay on it, like we just did on our roads. So we got two quotes, one for $16,350 and one for $13,600, one from Majestic and one from Image Pros. I know the town's used Majestic in the past, they seem to have done a decent job. And I want to give you guys a little more time to think about whether you want to do this or not. Take a look at the parking lot outside, if you will, and make an educated judgment, okay? Kind of like to get it done.
And another route we could do is just like tar and seal it. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but it don't seem like we get a lot of traffic back there. Like,
No, well, you
But
know.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, just do a nice seal coat, tar.
Do something to make it look
Right.
Okay. All right. Next, I have the trailer park, and I have John Mazinski here. And John's the new owner of the trailer park, and if you remember, we talked about the future of the trailer park a little bit, and maybe hooking up to our water system. And I know there's been some contentious relationships between the trailer park and the village in the past. And I wanted to give John an opportunity to address the village board, and have you, get you guys a chance to get to know him a little bit and maybe ask him some questions and find out what he's all about. So I want to give the floor to John.
Appreciate the time.
Okay.
My name is John Musinski, and about 20 years ago, my sister came to me and asked me if I would be willing to help invest in a development that her husband Tim was going to be undertaking. Reluctantly, I went forward with it because you do things for family. I invested in it, and basically that was the end of my involvement with the park. Tim, my brother-in-law, passed away in October, and now not only the management of the park, but also the debt related to the park now sits clearly in my lap, because I was one of the investors, and my sister basically doesn't have anything to even continue moving forward. So ownership has transferred over 100% to me, and I'm now the acting manager of the park. One of the first things I've tried to do is try to understand what has been done with the park, and there's virtually no files, at least not legible files. There's no process involved whatsoever. And over the last, say 10 or 11 months, that's what I've been basically doing, is trying to uncover what's going on at the park. I'm trying to clean it up. I've had 2 dumpsters out there, and within hours of having the dumpster delivered, it's time to pick it up and take it away because it's full. So I need to continue to do that. I'm looking into some landscaping work so that we provide a natural fence, so to speak, and hide a lot of the appearance of the park that I'm sure most folks would like to see go away. We've done some patching of the road. We need to do blacktop. We did that in the winter with just gravel, but we need to do a more permanent position there. To try to get an understanding of what was going on at the park, I requested a realtor to come take a look at it, who deals strictly in trailer home parks across the country. And we went through, we did all the paperwork. I tried to figure out all the information that he required. We actually had an offer put in on the park. It was not my intent to sell it, but through that process, we had an offer. And then they did their due diligence and they basically laid out all of the things that the park needed to do to get them to be satisfied. Based on the credit that they were looking for, it didn't make financial sense to me, but it gave me a really good understanding of what needs to be done in the park, and so that we can try to move forward with it. One of the things that I'd like to see us do is, one, mend this relationship, because going through the files that I did find, I'm embarrassed to say that my name was on anything back then. And so the one thing is, that's the reason I reached out to the village and wanted to try to have a different kind of relationship. I don't believe in adversarial relationships. I think in business you can do good, honest work and have a good partnership. That's what I've done for 42 years with the company that I'm with. And, you know, I think we can do the same kind of thing between the park and the village. The second thing was, we needed to invest in the water system and either do an upgrade to the water system or possibly tap into the village water system. And that's one of the conversations that I have with Stephen. So that's where we stand right now. It's not a mandatory thing. The system currently working, but it needs to be upgraded, and hopefully take it into a better operating situation, because we've had 3 different situations over the last 2 months where we've had to have guys come out and pump, had guys have to auger out pipes, and so it's seen its better days, and I'm gonna have to invest some money into it or go to a different option. So, I just wanted to come say hello, tell you guys that I'm not part of the past, despite the fact that my name was on the banknote, which is the biggest problem that I've got. And I'm looking to do things, differently. And I don't see it as a bad investment. I'm actually about 15, 20 minutes away from here. I live in Walworth, Wisconsin, new to that area. And so it's not a far commute as it was before when I was living in Chicago. So thank you for the time, and I appreciate any consideration.
Okay.
Welcome.
And I want to reiterate, that was a very preliminary discussion. If we are to move forward with this, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. There's engineering, there's legal, there's all kinds of stuff that we have to talk about. There's fire protection implications, there's more than just saying, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But I did want John to come in here so you could understand that as I feel I do, that the relationship going forward with the trailer park should be much nicer than it was in the past, okay? So something I don't want to discount, okay? Thanks a lot.
We appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think at the least for our current water and sewer users, at the least that we should be looking at, if we were to provide you with water, we already provide you with sewer, correct?
Yes.
Is that each trailer should have, at a minimum, each trailer should have their own meter, just like each home has its own meter. And what that involves is a minimum charge per trailer each month. And our water and sewer is not cheap here. So the sewer would have to change in that respect. So it would be the same as every other home now.
The other option is that there could be 1 meter for the.
No, that's no good for our village, that's no good for our taxpayers, and for everyone else that's paying into this pot every month, this minimum charge. What do we pay right now, Crystal, for a minimum charge
I believe it's $65.74.
per month?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be, the minimum.
Yeah, but if
For each one.
if you put 1 meter on it and he pays the whole bill and they pay it through their rent, it comes out the same.
And then that's a lot of legal issues, am I right around
Well,
town?
that's
That's a
why
big
we're not,
mess down the
you
road.
know.
Well, I mean, it can be done either way, and I don't know that it's significantly more legal expense associated with having 1 meter that is the equivalent of having, how many homes are out there?
40.
40 times whatever the minimum is, or, working it out. I think the most important thing is, does it put a stress on the system, which it probably does not, on the water system, but you'd want the engineer or test to kind of confirm that. and then work out an arrangement.
Yeah,
Because
because,
I've talked to a lot of older folks in town here that've been here forever. And that was my takeaway from them was, only to be fair to us, is that they would each house, just like we have.
we're
a
responsible
minimum
for
check.
our
You
water.
all have your, and sewer.
But those
You all have
are
your
all
own-
individual entities. The trailer park is kind of like an apartment building.
But doesn't each trailer use their own amount of water? Like if you've got a lot of kids, maybe you're gonna
Yes.
do a lot of baths where if it's just two people,
At any rate,
Yep.
but,
I didn't want
Yeah, it
to,
sounds
I didn't want to embark on this
like-
discussion to that much detail tonight.
okay, sorry.
I'm just
wanted
bringing
you to-
forth
I
what
just
I,
wanted you to get to meet John,
And we will work with,
and understand that, the situation is different over at the trailer park than what it was. And, as time goes on, we can have discussions about whether it's appropriate to do it or not, and then we'll have discussions on how to do it if we go ahead forward. But like I said, this is not going to be a short-lived process. It's going to take us a while, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have this ordinance on personal property. This is in order to buy the truck that we talked about. So, I talked to Tom because I can't go find a truck and then wait 2 weeks to come in here and get the ordinance approved because they're not gonna hold it for us. If we find a truck, we need to buy it, Like
it's
I
been
found one the
returned.
other day. It was a 2008 F-150. It was $4,300. It looked great. It had a manual transmission, but I needed to make sure Skylar could drive a manual transmission, okay? I can, but, it's gone. So when we find one, we just have to go get it and then backfit the blank spots in this ordinance.
And a side note, with all those other trucks we talked about, a lot of those were just like pooches. Like they really dialed them up for pictures. Like he said, the one they spray painted it and it looked
I
great in
saw
the
that.
picture.
Did you like that one?
And then the one like he could put his leg through a rust hole in the back because they had plywood in the,
Oh my
in the
gosh.
truck
Yep.
bed and like.
You
And all the
gotta go look
pictures,
at them.
yeah, and
Yeah.
all the pictures there that show anything like that, so we have
But
to
if it's
start
what
over.
you, if
again.
it's what you're gonna take, you need to take it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so we're
Okay.
still looking for them, I know.
Yeah. So explain the process.
Well, I mean, the statute requires you have an ordinance. We could put a number in here, a not to exceed number, and identify it more generically as a utility truck, a work truck for the Public Works Department, but not have the VIN number. I mean, in other words, you'd have some flexibility as to what you can ultimately buy. And then, of course, you'd report immediately back to the village board as to what you end up buying.
Yeah.
But I don't know what number you're comfortable as a not to exceed.
Well, I thought we passed, in fact, I think it was in these minutes that we said $7,500 was the maximum.
I think so.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I got it right there, yeah.
Well, why don't, Crystal, why don't we put 7,500 then in this blank, and then under the, identified on the Exhibit A, put utility vehicle as available, and then that gives you authority to spend $7,500 on the utility vehicle, and then, I mean, if, the board only meets once a month, and so if you find one 2 weeks out from a board meeting, it's gone by the time the board meeting.
Yeah, and that's what we ran into with a lot of these people that were trying to buy it from. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna wait 2 weeks, we wanna sell this truck, so.
Okay, so,
Is that all right? I mean,
Yeah.
that
Do you need it some-
consensus standpoint?
Do we have
So
to
then I-
vote on that, or?
No, we'll put that in before you make the motion, so,
Yeah.
Crystal, put that in at 7,500, and under the Exhibit A, put, utility vehicle for Public Works Department, and then we can just entertain a motion to approve that.
okay, then can I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Oh,
gotta
roll
have a roll
call.
call.
Oh, I got a roll call, sorry.
Trustee Whitby?
Aye.
Trustee Wilcox?
Aye.
Trustee Glassing? President Bing?
Aye.
Trustee Agee?
Aye.
Trustee Lacewell?
Aye.
Trustee Walter?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Next is the ordinance on signs. I don't want to have to go into details again. But this is to make sure that people understand that vulgar signs, obscene signs, etc. are not allowed in the village, okay?
And I will say this isn't uncommon to make amendments like this. I've seen this in at least a couple other villages where we've had to do amendments where people are using inappropriate language on signs and something you don't want your kids going by the house looking at, whether they're signs, flags, banners. You know, we don't need F-bombs out in the community.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Well, before we do that,
Well, we have a motion. We need a second before we can go on to, you're welcome to speak, but we need to get a second first.
Even if she has questions?
No.
You get a
Before we
first, you get a
vote?
second, then you have questions, or the person withdraws the first. Or it fails for lack of a second.
We just take back the,
Withdraw it.
All right.
Yeah,
now we
and then
don't have-
she can
the
talk that
motion
way
started.
I
thank you,
know.
Linda. Thank you. Although it does offend me personally to see any vulgarity or obscenity out there, and I don't want kids to see things, of course. However, I know too many, and I have too many friends, family, and I'm sure we have people in this town, many of them that have fought for our freedom to fly whatever flag we want to fly up our pole and have whatever bumper sticker we have on our car, or somebody who comes to town and visits us has on their car. For that reason, you know, it is a freedom that we have. We also have the freedom to look the other way if we see something that we don't like. I know I was raised one way at my age line, my generation. And I would not do it personally, but I do realize that there are younger people that these words don't mean anything to them. And mainly because of, you know, people fighting for the freedom to fly whatever flag they want and have whatever bumper sticker they have. It isn't against the law to purchase those items. I think it's a little overreach for us as a village to try to restrict that, and then to police it is another issue for us financially. There again, you're pulling in the idea of having to hire someone to have to go around and police it. And then what do we have? You know, we have rough feelings with our residents because maybe Joe got nailed, but George didn't. And then we have that heated issue happening. And in these little towns, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, I think it'd have worse than one flag saying something.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't like it myself personally, but I can turn my head. And I can respect the fact that they do and should have the freedom to fly anything up their flagpole they want. So I just wanted to put that out there for consideration.
I feel like it's disgraceful if somebody's driving down through 173 through town and sees something like that hanging off of somebody's house and we let it happen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what our town looks like, I guess, as long as they get their freedom to fly their flag, is what I'm getting. I want my town to look nice when we drive through it, and respectful, so that our youth are shown by example how to behave.
I mean, at some point.
Maybe walk over and talk to your neighbor, maybe talk to that person and
And if you
handle
don't
it
like
that
the
way instead of
ordinances,
putting
don't move into the town.
laws into place.
No offense, but I think she's been here more than you, so.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, I don't
That's
think
all I got to say.
That's very
got anything
true.
to do with it.
I disagree. As a former military member myself, I don't think that fighting for this country precludes that flying a flag that says F-U-C-K on it is, you know, I don't think that's protected speech.
It is not protected speech.
It's not. Well, it's the freedom to fly a flag is what.
That's not it's not protected. So you don't have the freedom to fly it if it's not protected.
Okay. It's up to your guys' vote.
And so then how are you going to police this? That's the next question.
The same way I would police it if somebody doesn't mow their lawn or they got a junk car in their front yard. Somebody complains about it, we'll send out a letter, there's a fine involved, all right, and we'll take it from there,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
all right? If nobody complains about it, then I'm not gonna do anything about it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the main thing I was bringing up.
I
Just-
want something, I need something on the books, if somebody complains about it, that I can stick my foot on, okay?
Sure.
Because that was my first thought when this whole thing came up is, well, we got the First Amendment, okay, and people can say what they want, but they can't do that, okay? You can't yell fire in a theater, okay? There are limits to what personal speech can be, all right? There's slander laws, there's libel laws, and there are other laws that limit what free speech is, okay? There are rules and regulations. We're supposed to be a civilized society, and that's not civil. And I agree, I don't want the kids walking to school in the morning and see that flying off somebody's front porch. It's not right. I realize it may not mean anything to some kids, but I think, at some point, you gotta draw a line in the sand and say enough's enough.
Yeah, I didn't serve the country for somebody to fly a flag that says F-U-C-K on it. I don't want my kids to see that. I don't think anybody else wants their kids to be like, oh, daddy, mommy, what is F-U-C-K?
What does that mean? Yeah.
Then you gotta go into that whole
I
explanation,
appreciate
that's
your
fine.
input. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Now, can I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
You can remake your motion now.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
I want a roll call.
Trustee Wakefield?
No.
Trustee Wilcox?
No.
Trustee Galassi?
Aye.
President Bing?
Aye.
Trustee G?
Aye.
Trustee Lacewell?
Aye.
Trustee Warfel?
I'll say aye.
My motion
As long
passes
as we
5-2.
Still do something to it.
Okay, next thing on here is the Public Works. You want to talk about this, Ryan?
Alright, so Skylar is requesting some equipment to make things a little easier and improve the village a little bit. There's a new power head, it's pretty much like a giant beefy weed eater with a bunch of different attachments. There's a brush hogger attachment to clean all the gravel, the rocks out of the curbs for the street sweepers. They just pile it up in different sections of everywhere around.
And it ends up in the storm sewers.
Yeah, and there's one that's a pole saw, so we can go around and trim all the trees and keep trimming around the village and everything else like that. There's a weed eater, because the ones that we have are pretty much beat up and they're barely alive and working. Same with, there's an edger attachment you can get all for this one, pretty much weed eater. And then there's a hedge trimmer. There's two different options. I'm going for just a straight edge. I don't see why you need a kind of an angled swivel head one. And there's quite a bit of price difference on the two. So I'm looking to get a motion for, it's 1521 plus tax, which comes to adding up all the parts and attachments for it. So there's two different.
The one you're leaning towards is the 180 for this one?
Yeah, the cheaper one of those two, and then there's only two different power heads. One's a stronger one, which we probably need just for all the different attachments, and so it doesn't get beat up and go through another one.
And that's the 409?
Yeah, that's the 409 one, and then the other one was like 239.
Is this battery operated?
Gas.
I have a question just for the fact, I know that I don't know if we own the vehicle or we own the brush, but there is a street sweeper that we're part ownership of.
No,
The
the township claimed
Yeah,
that.
township claimed
The
it.
township has
They
it.
took the whole thing. I thought at one point that they owned part of it and we owned another part of
You're
it.
right. At one time we did.
But, yeah,
I don't know what happened to that.
Okay,
You're correct.
okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
So, yeah, we might be able to look into that and see.
I mean, I'm not opposed to
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I
no,
just,
that's-
because they're not always gonna do the
Right,
streets,
yeah.
but I just wondered what happened to that.
Yeah, that and the ones that we do have, like the trimmer and the edger, he like literally has spray starter fluid in it just to keep it going throughout the day.
And that's
like, they're just beat
ridiculous.
up, yeah, they're just junk at this point, so.
Okay, so you want the 409 one for the one part, and then
Yeah,
all of
it'd
the
be-
pieces that go,
Yeah, it's 410, 110, 198, 220, 187, and 308, and plus tax and everything, like after tax, I don't know what it'd be, but.
okay. You just need a motion made then for it?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll make a motion to go ahead and purchase the one that's the 409 and then all of the attachments that go with it.
Could I have a second?
For a total of 1520.
For 15, yeah, whatever you said it was there.
second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Lacy.
Aye.
Trustee Wilcox.
Aye.
Trustee Galassi.
Aye.
President Bing.
Aye.
Trustee Eugene.
Aye.
Trustee Lacewell.
Aye.
Trustee Ballhorn.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Is that something though we can still look in on, though, to find out about the old one that the township had, or we had, or that we could work with them, Steve?
I don't think they'll work with it now that they possess it, and it's half theirs.
Matt, maybe Steve could talk to them, because
Okay.
he knows people in the township.
True.
And the one on here as well, it's pretty much like a curb one, it's not like a giant one, or
Right.
it'd be perfect for when he's just walking down the
Right,
curbs and everything.
but it still
yeah.
wouldn't hurt to have the whole
Right.
streets done, because all the nuts and bolts and stuff
Yeah.
that get fall, and then
Yeah.
everybody's got flats.
Right.
So if we're able to use it, it would still be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you guys.
No
Okay,
problem.
Trustee Wilcox?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, trustee Galassi?
Yeah, we need volunteers to start the library thing here at the Village Hall. I'm looking for at least 6, if not more, so that we can get people on a rotation. But
What would their hours
What would you
be?
like them to do?
we just need them to be able to sit at the desk and mark people that come in, and have the village open after 5 o'clock.
So what kind of hours are you looking at?
I don't think past 7 would be necessary,
So like 5 to 7?
or 3 to 7.
Oh, 3 to 7, okay.
Okay, and how
And
many days
so-
a week?
Well, one for every day of the week, and then the weekends, if we could have at least a Saturday.
Okay,
Then
so Monday through Friday and then Saturday.
Saturday would be a full, like 8 to 5. Or
So you just want somebody here to like check in and out books?
Yeah.
Basically what you want?
Mhm.
Okay.
And be able to mark people that come in, peruse, use the library so that we can see if it's something that the village wants.
So you just want to kind of keep track of who's taking a book out, who's bringing it back, and making sure that somebody isn't wandering around the building.
Make a suggestion. Before, I'll volunteer, I don't know what times or days yet, but before doing like a whole schedule, why don't you start out with maybe 1 or 2 days, that's it. Like maybe Saturday from 10 till 3. And then maybe one day during the week from maybe 3 to 7 or 4 to 7. And start out just by doing that and see what kind of response you get to start with. And then depending on the response, then expand it.
Because you might get more people on the weekends than you are during the week, because during the week they can use the school, but on the weekends, then this would be, beneficial for them, because they could come in.
How many volunteers at one time are you going to have in here?
I would like to see 2 so that
And one of those
there's
don't-
no funny business
Yeah.
that people can try to pull.
We
So,
can't just
I
have
got
2
a-
people
I got a
that live in
question.
town in here, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't we have to have someone that's connected?
One of the board members should have to be
Yeah,
here.
something, because you can't just open it up to 1 or 2 people in town and say, here you go. Here's the keys to the kingdom. And,
Two people.
there's no one.
You really wanted to be a librarian,
didn't you?
The other thing is, I know Rachel was working real hard in getting all the books cataloged and everything, but I don't know that they're all organized like a library would be. So, I would think that would be one of the first things you should do, is ask for some help to, like, put the books in sections, so when people come in here, they can find what they want.
Yeah.
Rachel?
Decibel.
I was in the process of doing that when he asked about the library and grants.
I think what you need to do, Aaron, is you need to lay out like a prospectus on how you want to do this before we go forward and do it. So it sounds like you're not really sure how you want this to be done. I think you need a,
Spreadsheet
That's
set up,
what-
just showing
Can I
us
make
an
a
outline.
That's why I had asked for
Right.
shelving and stuff,
Yeah.
was to get the books in
Can I
order
ask
before
that-
we opened it.
That you work a little more with Rachel on this project,
Yeah.
okay, because she's been pretty heavily involved in it, so, you know, she's got some ideas, and I think if the two of you can put your heads together on this, it might be a bit more successful, okay? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. all
Sounds
right,
good.
Okay, all right. All right, trustee Lacewell, you got the financial report.
Skip Rachel and Linda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, they don't have anything written down here. You got anything?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Rachel, you got anything?
Just a quick thing, I will be getting in contact with the school here probably in the next couple of weeks after they get settled back in, regarding the scarecrows, to hopefully have those up by homecoming, and to talk with them about the things that they want to do activity-wise with the village this coming year.
Okay. Okay, now, trustee Lacewell, you got the financial report?
I
Okay.
do. So, Solutions Bank shows $692,510.79 for the general fund. The water fund says $331,674.49. Payroll says $5,418.58. Escrow account is $4,161.66. MFT shows $246,933.44. Short-lived asset reserve is $129,239.52. Debt service reserve is $52,689.02. Water main replacement is $50,015.07. Water set aside is $60,519.39. The First Black Hawk Bank one says $172,561.82. Then the next one is $12,640.07. The last one says construction account, but there's no numbers on that one.
No.
And then, do I read the totals too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the general fund says $887,292.92. The MFT fund says the total is $246,933.44. And the water fund shows $624,133.49.
Okay, now let's stop you right there. Okay. So we had a, remember I said we had that transfer of $75,000? So the last report, we had like $324,000 or something like that in the MFT. That's why it's down to 246. And we had like 798 or something like that on the last report for the general fund. It's now at 877. But if you take the 75 off that, we still put $19,000 in the general fund during the last month. So we're still moving in a positive direction on all those accounts. Okay.
So the next one shows administrative total revenue. Original budget shows $488,900. Estimated actuals shows $1,045,808.28.
Yeah, now, what I want to talk about is if you look at line 0100399, it says interfund operating transfer of $69,606. And if you look all the way to the right, it takes it out and makes it $278,000 because that's what the computer does. And we know that's not right. So as we go through the year, that $1 million is going to come back down towards the 488 because we're not getting that again. Okay?
Okay, salaries, total expense is $49,200. Original budget. Estimated actuals shows $10,400. office total expense is $252,200 for original budget, and estimated actuals is $277,320.16. Then we have Public Works. Total expense is $84,500 for the original budget. Estimated actual is $55,733.64. The MFT total revenue, original budget is $60,500. Estimated actual is $56,948.60. Total expense is going to be $86,000 for the original budget, and the estimated actual is $296,601.76.
Because of that transfer, the one-time transfer.
Water and sewer total revenue is $766,223.65 for the original budget. Estimated actuals is $652,576.64. Water total expense is $364,700 for the original budget. Estimated actual is $332,753.84. Total expense is going to be $359,000 for the original budget, and the estimated actual is $145,062.88.
Any questions?
Good job.
Anybody got anything else?
I have a quick question. Crystal, how are any residents, how are they doing if they've been in arrears? Are they keeping up their payments?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we haven't.
I think we're actually the most current we've ever been.
Excellent, very good.
Okay.
I had one
Yeah.
comment. I did talk to somebody today that said now that the kids are back to school, the food pantry down here is in desperate need of volunteers.
Okay.
They are not going to be open next week because of the lack of volunteers. Yeah, so it is going to affect families next week.
Could we put that on our website and also on our Facebook page, so we can get somebody over there?
Do you know what the hours are that they have to do it?
No.
Okay, I just
Oh, I'm
wondered.
sorry.
No, that's okay. I just,
They are open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, usually from 8 to 4. Distribution, I believe, is from 8 to 2:30 on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah.
8 to 2:30, okay.
And my son and two of his friends were volunteers, and they're not back in school, so they can't help.
Okay. Anything else? I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thanks, folks.
Thank you guys very much.
No problem.
Yes, it was nice to meet you.
Brian, do you want to just tell Scott, because I told him to text him, but if you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Be thinking of you, Linda.
Thank you.
And it's not going to be easy.